a Rectángulos. Mi nombre es Merit y hoy conversamos en extenso con Mariusz Duda, vocalista, compositor de la banda Riverside, quienes este año vuelven a Latinoamérica en su nuevo tour ID.Entity. Van a recorrer ciudades como México, Brasil, Colombia, Chile y por primera vez en 20 años, Argentina. Le preguntamos sobre sus impresiones acerca de este nuevo tour por Latinoamérica, sobre sus nuevos trabajos tanto con Riverside como solista, entre muchas cosas más. Los invito a que la revisen a continuación. Mariusz, how are you? Thank you very much for this interview. In Argentina, we are really excited to have Riverside for the first time in our country. How do you feel about this?
We are coming to Argentina after over 20 years of our activity, but it's better late than never, right?
You also bring a new album called ID.Entity. What could you tell me about it? How do you feel was the production process of this new music?
It's this album was released a year ago, so now we're just playing this live mostly. I forgot almost how it was in the studio, but recently the documentary making of appeared on YouTube. So if someone wants to see that, they can see that. And I saw this again, and I reminded myself how stressful it was for me. So I'm not sure if I want to go back to this. With recordings, Riverside recordings, there's always something that there's always the problem with time, and with the deadline. And we had like 2.5 months to record and finish everything. So it was a bit crazy. I don't want to do that again. There are bands that they just record their albums in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and we had to do this in 2.5 months. So,
and today, how do you feel about being able to play this album live?
It's much better than the process of recording, definitely, because the interaction between the band and the audience with identity content is pretty amazing.
So would you say that this integration of sounds like electronic and 80s kind of sounds has been well received by the fans?
Yeah, that became one of the highlights of our shows, this song, because people are waiting for that. That's why we didn't play it as the first one. La 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 la. The new material definitely helped us to play more energetic shows. That's for sure. And it helped us to better interact with the audience. So if I think about that, we now are coming to Latin America, and even in Europe, even in the places when so far the audience was simply like, standing and listening only. And even that kind of audience interacted with us during our tour in Europe. Wow. So I don't know what to think about, having your energy during live shows.
Yeah.
And this interaction. That may be crazy. So I'm looking forward to that. Unless you will just simply not be crazy, and that will be fine as well.
The Latin American audience are known for being louder and crazy, right?
Curious why. I'm just curious why you react this way. That was very interesting, because in Europe, in some places in a dark Eastern Europe, people they just simply adore dark, sad sounds. They of course react, but not so enthusiastically as people in Latin America. And this is so amazing, because I have this feeling that you can leave something, at home, leaving something at your house. When you want to go to the show, you just say to yourself, okay, I don't care about my problems for at least 2 hours. So you can switch off your minds. I don't know how you do this, but it's so amazing.
It is. And Mariusz, would you consider this new album as a natural evolution for Riverside music?
Well, I hope so. Definitely we have changed the approach to our composing because of one reason. We have experienced a tragedy in the band. We lost a very important member of the band, our guitar player, Piotr Grudziński, who passed away in 2016. And after that, we have released really dark, melancholic album, which was called Wasteland in 2018. And we suffered for many, many years. We were touring with that kind of struggling on our faces. And after the COVID, after pandemia, I wanted to get rid of such a huge amount of melancholy in Riverside. So for me, it's natural evolution because we started third decade of our activity with different kind of tunes, with different kind of emotions. However, in terms of lyrics, everything stayed the same. It's still heavy and it's still dark, but maybe there is something new about it. Like I didn't write this time about my personal struggling with, I don't know, loneliness, depression, solitude and stuff like that. But I wanted to pay attention to identity of our modern society and about the fact that we are very polarized. We are really divided by social media and some politicians that forced us to scream at each other. So for the first time on the Riverside album, I put that kind of messages. So maybe this is the revolution. I hope in a good direction.
And does the art represent a little bit of this feeling too?
I believe so. It shows that we are kind of defragmented these days. If you hear all these noises from each side, if you see this talking between radical left side and radical right side, sometimes it's really hard to follow why these people are not listening to each other. I am kind of a centrist these days, maybe centrist with more being on the left side, but I try to be somewhere in the middle. I couldn't be radical on each side. I believe that's the biggest problem of our society these days. If you are too radical, because being in this state, you cannot listen to the other side with understanding. You just you hear only blah 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 blah, something like that. Yes. So not great. That's why I try to write about this in the lyrics, that we need each other to achieve something. We need to be self-aware. We need to find friends around us. We need to remove toxic people from our environment and try to not get manipulated, right, by the others.
And talking about the art, it's really impressive. It's really different as the previous work, and it's really colorful. Is there any particular message that you want to transmit in this album with the colors?
The album starts with the lyrics, "Who do you pretend to be to please everyone?" Okay. It's about living with the mask, and from the outside, it looks like the life is full of colors, but you cannot say that from the inside. Definitely, maybe there is still a darkness. I see that you have a white and pink hair. Maybe it reflects who you are, but maybe it's just a mask, because maybe you should wear very dark hair because you listen to very dark music. Who knows? I don't know that. But, we all pretend. We all someone else, especially in social media. And it's really hard to find someone in front of whom we could uncover ourselves these days. that is the message for the future, I believe, for the maybe future album about, I don't know, maybe this protagonist, maybe this main hero will uncover himself and start saying some things out loud instead of pretending that he's okay with everything that's going on.
What can you tell us about your new solo album called Afraid?
Those solo albums are just electronic experiments that I'm just doing in between Riverside activity. But that is true. For sure, Afraid and Friend or Foe, they're kind of linked because they are both also about something that's called deep fake, or I don't know, using AI in a wrong way these days. That's, in my opinion, if you, for instance, ask me if I'm afraid of artificial intelligence, I would say that this is just another tool that will help people to achieve some things faster and cheaper. But on the other hand, if not good people will take care of this too much, we will have more and more deep fakes. We will have more and more, weird photos of celebrities looking in a different way. But the most dangerous thing will be if one day you will see yourself or someone that looks like you in a bad movie or just in a bad situation that you don't want to look like. So in my opinion, this is the biggest danger, that some people cannot distinguish what's the truth and what's the false, right? That's the thing. And I'm telling about this in the lyrics of Friend or Foe. That's why we started this song with 80s sound, because we wanted to pretend someone else, at least for a while,
It is impressive the way that you play with the electronic sounds these days. Afraid, for example, you can hear this kind of related to the space music or robots and these beautiful ethereal electronic voices. It's a really well done work. I enjoy it a lot. How do you feel it was received by the audience?
It's like, I don't know, painting the picture, this is just creating some musical layers. Afraid it's a different kind of album comparing to the previous ones, because in the previous ones we did more layers in our music. But this new album is supposed to be the album inspired by our live shows. So it should be more direct also in terms of music composing. That's why you cannot hear, those melancholic romantic layers somewhere in the third background there. It's more like rock show. But that's why playing these songs live is so good for us. It fits. Of course, I wouldn't be myself if I would say that this is enough for me. So that's why I have Lunatic Soul. That's why I have my electronic world, that I can use these layers that I sometimes miss in Riverside.
Speaking Lunatic Soul, do you see any future work with this project?
I am now recording the new album.
Oh,
At the time when we are just talking about, I'm just doing the album number 8. This is like the post Through Shaded Woods album. Finally, I had the chance to do this because Riverside finished the tour in October. So November, December, January, and a bit of February, I had a chance to work on the new Lunatic Soul. I have composed this already, and now I need to just record that in a proper way. So at the end of this year, or at the beginning of the next year, you will hear the new Lunatic Soul album.
That's a great news. And as a Riverside, do you have any new work, or you're just focusing on touring?
for now, this year belongs to Riverside shows, Riverside touring, and Lunatic Soul recordings. I'm not thinking of new Riverside recordings yet. This is probably the subject, the topic for 2025. And for now, I want to focus on Lunatic Soul in the studio and on Riverside while playing the shows in Argentina.
As for the band, you have uploaded a lot of new videos in social media where you seem really close. Do you say this latest album has united you more than a band, like a family?
Well, definitely has changed something, because I promised to the guys that this time I will not force them to do only my thing, but and we will do more things together. At the end, it appeared that I again did almost the entire album by myself, but we were spending much more time in the rehearsal room than during Wasteland, or I don't know, Love in the Time Machine, or even Shrine of New Generation Slaves. And so it kind of reminded me the first decade of our activity. And so definitely it helped us to be more as a band with this new album than the previous ones.
And would you say this has influence in the final product, in the final work of ID.Entity? Perhaps including some particular taste of any of Riverside's member in it?
You know, with Riverside, it's just like this, I'm this artistic leader of this band, you know. I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to compare myself to Mike Ackerfeld. I see that you've got Opeth cover, but I'm that kind of guy, you know. I'm the main guy behind the general concept, the most ideas and everything. But I'm always open to any suggestions from other members of the band. And this time we did a few things together with Michał, the keyboard player, and that's it. But in the future, maybe more people will be involved.
Mariusz, I want to thank you for your time, and I want to leave this space open for you to send a message to all your fans in Argentina.
Yes, first and foremost, thank you so much for forcing Argentinian promoters to invite us, because I know that someone put the comment, why are you not coming to Argentina? And I answered, because no one wants us. There is no promoter in Argentina. And someone just tagged a few promoters from Argentina, and here we go, we're coming to Argentina. I wish I could came up with this idea, I don't know, earlier. Maybe that's how it should go. Like, write the post on Facebook. Hello, we want to come to Argentina. Are there any promoters that they want to have us? And maybe we should fix the shows that way. So thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you so much for the support, of course, because it's lovely to know that even if we didn't have a chance to play in your beautiful country yet, people are still waiting for us. They still listen to our music. They still want us. So that's really inspiring, and I wish. No, I'm really looking forward to play for the first time in Buenos Aires. That can be for sure a very genuine experience, and something to remember, definitely.